Well, hello there, haters. We have a bit of a special one this time. Halloween is right around the corner, and we have a lot in store for it, so be ready. Oh, and before the questions start, I want to thank everyone from the bottom of my heart for getting us to 500 followers on GameJolt. It really means a lot. SD Gaming 12 wants to know how we feel about all the hype. It excites all of us to see so many people want to play our game when it comes out. Every time I go to the GameJolt page and see how many followers we have, I get a big smile on my face. It's definitely also raised our standards. Several of you asked how the development was going, and I guess I'll be a little bit more in depth this time. The development is going just fine. We have all of the animatronics and a pretty good bit of the environment modeled. We've recently started working on programming, and we've come up with a lot of fun ideas that we're thinking about putting into place. Several of you also had questions about voice acting. At the moment, we have a couple people on the team doing voice acting, and some of them will be voicing animatronics. We aren't looking for voice actors right now, but we will definitely need some in the future, so stay in touch if you're interested. How many animatronics appear in the game? Are the nightmares in the game only toy animatronics or actual characters are in the game? Wowee guys, that's a lot of questions about characters that I am not gonna answer. Several of you had questions about what softwares we use. The programs we use are as follows. For modeling we use mostly Blender and sometimes Cinema 4D. For animation we use Blender. For music we use Logic Pro X, and for programming we use Unreal Engine in combination with Fmod Studio for sound design. Legendary Fartmaster and Jester Green would like to know if the game is going to be more like a 12 to 6 survival game or sister location. The game is kind of going to be a combination of the two. You will have to survive 12 to 6, but we're also planning on adding optional tasks to the night. Shaymeme and Great Pond want to know if we're ever going to release some of the models to Blender. We'll most likely do a vote or poll of some sort later on to figure out which ones will be released and which ones will stay private. Several of you had questions about things like a custom night, Easter eggs, and an extras menu. We'll definitely be adding an extras menu, but we don't know what it's going to look like yet. There's a very high chance that we're going to add Easter eggs. I won't tell you what they'll be though, and a custom night is a maybe right now. Jacko Tristy and Dan Hurley had questions about the soundtrack. I added the heartbeat to the menu theme because I was trying to go for a more atmospheric feel in it, and a heartbeat works great as a beat. We haven't talked about showing off any more of the soundtrack, but I'm sure we will at some point. Seth Green really didn't like the jump scare from the last Q&A, and I understand your concerns, and I'll definitely think about not adding one, but don't get your hopes up. Spooky Man and Seth Green wanted to know what the name of our toy animatronics were. They're called the Agonized animatronics. Phantom Candy had two questions about the setting. The game is going to take place at Jimmy's house, so it'll most likely take place in different portions of the house each night. Basement, attic, backyard, etc. The game is going to be free roam, so there isn't going to be like one specific office that you stay in the whole game. There may or may not still be an office in the house though. Jester Green wants to know if we have any plans for Joyful Fears. Plans within plans within plans within plans within plans. OddRL was wondering if we were going to add any more team members. We aren't currently looking for new team members, but it's always a possibility. OddRL also wanted to know if we thought this game was going to be good. Everyone on the team has very high hopes for this game. Great Pond wanted to know some stupid stuff, but the only really important thing is that Pancake Satan is the answer. K thanks, bye. SD Gaming wants to know if we're going to make a trailer and when we're going to release it if we do make one. We will make a trailer. At this moment we have no idea when we'll be releasing it, but it probably won't be for a little while. Wolfclaw Satan Numbers wanted to know when and where to come up with designs for the animatronics. The concept artist that designed the first couple Agonized animatronics and set the basis for what they would look like had to leave a long time ago, so I have no real way of answering that, but they did. Eric Yo45 wants to know, what game come out? And I just have to say, that's a really good question. SD Gaming 12 wants to know if we've ever gotten hate. I can't think of any actual hate that we've gotten so far, but there has been criticism that some of the team members didn't like, but it wasn't hateful. Seth Green wants to know if Chica will have any stages without her beak. Maybe it's not something we've really put a lot of thought into. OddRL asks, do you want Fusion Z Gamer to play your game? I mean, sure, having any relatively big YouTuber play our game would be awesome. Jacko Tristy wants to know why the game is called Joyful Fears. Well, you see, one day the Great Apollo was like, cool, and Joyful Fears had a name. Andrew Wartenberg asks, what's your favorite idea? My absolute favorite idea for the game is how we decided to split the animatronics between each night. OddRL wants to know how long it took us to put the team together. I was the last person to join that filled in a role we didn't already have someone in, so it took about 2 weeks for Apollo to get a full team together. We've had more people join since then, but that was the point where we were able to do everything. SD Gaming 12 asked a long question that I'm not going to read off, but if we could add one animatronic and make it work, we would add one of the Nightmare animatronics, ironically enough. It would be interesting to see what our concept artist would do with them. OddRL wants to know if the team would ever break up or something like that. I think certain people could leave, but it would be very unlikely for this current team to break up. Other than the members that aren't very active, we've all become a very good group of friends. SD Gaming 12 wants to know if there's any content that we've scrapped so far. The only content that we've scrapped were the first two names for the Agonized animatronics, which were Terror and Joyful, and the first model for Agonized Freddy, which we've already shown. For anyone who hasn't seen it, here it is. OddRL is interested in when the game is going to come out. It'll probably release around mid-2019, but that date is not set in stone. And finally, SD Gaming wants to know when the next teaser is going to come out. Tomorrow, actually, but until then, here's a sneak peek of one of the many things.